Hi guys, this is Capitaland China Trust financial results for FY2024 dated 6 Feb 2025. Right, sorry for the lack of updates lately. I've been very busy with work. Right, so anyway, retail is around 70% of the portfolio, business parks 25%, logistics 3.5%. Right. Okay, we look at gross revenue, which is down 3.9% year on year. Right, obviously due to the malls that they have sold and lower occupancy and rents in business park and logistic parks, which has been dragging the portfolio. Right, this one, which was the empty logistics park, has finally been filled. Right, we are glad to know it's 100% filled, but they didn't tell us about how much rent they are collecting. Okay, but this should have, I believe, positive impact on next year's DPU at least. Right, yeah, for if we compare the 9 malls that they have left, alright, general revenue is up 0.9%, right, so it's a slight positive result, right. Of course, we have to discount the malls that they have sold. Right, NPI decline is due to exited malls. This is expected, and of course, again, business park and logistics parks is not doing well. Reduction in property tax incentives, alright, one of the issues that have also caused NPI to drop, okay, partially offset by savings in operational expenses. Although it's not very clear here is if their operational expenses are saved because they sold these two, or is because they save on their expenses based on what they have left. Right, so this one is not very clear. I'm not very fond of the way they are reporting their information. Yeah, so excluding the tax incentive, property expenses saving should be 2.7% year on year. Alright, again, like I said, I don't know if this is including or excluding the malls. Alright, so if you exclude these two, NPI is minus 3.9% year on year. Right, for 9 malls basis, NPI is up 1.9% year on year. Yeah, they're saying they are doing well in the AEIs, which, well, I guess that's a good thing. Right, DPU is down 16.2% year on year. Right, we know that the business part and logistics are an issue, FX is an issue. Right, partially offset by lower financial costs. This is the slight positive I have in this result. Later you'll see that their borrowing cost has finally gone down. Right, so occupancy on retail side is high. This one we know. Shopper traffic with 4 consecutive quarters of year-on-year improvements, right? That's good. Tenant sales is what we care about, up 2% year-on-year, right? Retail occupancy cost, this one is at 18.4%. That means to say that how much they are paying in terms of revenue for renting the space, right? Pre-COVID period was 20 to 21%. So this may suggest that some room for growth in terms of retail rental. Right, so yeah, there's some so recently there's subdued consumer spending in China, we know that, right? Of course, the government is trying to boost household consumption, right? So this is actually, to me, this is the main catalyst moving forward. If actually their government's boosting helps the domestic consumption, right, then this REIT should benefit from the retail side. Right, this is the 4th quarter results. Okay, year on year we've talked about it. Okay, shopper traffic up. Tenant sales up 2%, right? There's a bit of hope here. 4th quarter year on year is plus 4.4%. Sales is up 0.8%. So very slight positive results, right? The only concern is that I think last year a lot of it is boosted by EV sales, which is high. It's a high volume transaction. So how much of this sales result is just boosted by EV, right? I'm not very worried. I'm not very clear. So I'm slightly concerned about this. Right. However, I guess you could say that this could be compensated for by the government trying to boost spending anyway, So it's a thing that I'm concerned that without the government boosting, I expect that maybe the mall's revenue in terms of tenant sales, right, should drop, right? But because government is boosting, I expect the loss of these EV sales this year may not be such a big issue. In fact, it may get better, right? This one is very hard to tell. Right, of course, we can look at tenant sales at their AEI malls, which is good, right? So at least their AEIs are working. Right, business park and logistics, they say above or on par with market occupancy. They are doing better than average, right? So I guess you could say management is doing decently, right? At least they're performing above average, right? However, that also means that they are likely to have to do rental revisions that are lower, right? You can see retail side actually dropped by 1.1%, right? Business park is down 4.5%, and logistics park, as expected, is quite bad, minus 24.5%. Right, I'm not terribly sure if this includes the newest lease. I think so, right, as I understand it. Right, looks like, yeah, it looks like this may include the new lease that they filled up the empty logistics parks lah. Okay, so yeah, the info is here. Well, I guess it's better that you rent at 75% of the last tenant than leave it empty. All right. Okay, valuations largely unchanged, alright, except some of these malls here, right, 5%, minus 4%, minus 4%, so it's very small lah. Okay, not super duper worried about this, right? So you can see the larger malls are okay, right? Of course, we expect this one to take a beating, right? Not going to worry about this. Yeah, you can see second half 2024 versus 2023 is minus 12%. Well, if we look at year on year, is minus 16.2%, right? So the second half deterioration is slightly less bad than the first half, right? I'll put it that way, right? How I value this REIT is very simple. I'll just value it based on retail side. Retail side is 70%, so adjusted NAV 109, right? Times 70%, that will value the REIT at 76.3 cents. Currently, it's around 69 cents. This I believe ex dividend, all right? If if I'm not mistaken. Right, today is 15th of February, right? So there's some MOS lah, some margin of safety lah, if you want to look at it this way. Gearing went up. I'm not sure how come they are actually borrowing increased slightly. Alright, but yeah, it's not very big change lah. Okay, so yeah, gearing went up slightly. Not very sure why. Okay, this is the thing I'm looking out for, right? As of last quarter, I kept complaining that I don't know why the average cost of debt still cannot go down. They're supposed to be transitioning from SGD to renminbi debt, which should give them cost saving. So I think this is one of the things that I've been looking forward for, and finally it has happened, right? The rest is flattish, not going to say too much about it, right? DPU for this half, right, is 2.64 cents annualized. If I analyze this, 5.28 cents is roughly around 7.5% dividends. If I assume that it's 70 cents, right? Nothing to be very excited about, frankly, right? Given the circumstances, I wouldn't buy at this price. That's what I'm trying to say, right? We'll just look at quickly at occupancy, then I will end the presentation, right? Retail side, not worried about occupancy, right? Rental revisions, however, are a slight worry, right? You can see this mall is slightly underperforming, but it's just one of them, right? This is the big concern I have. I don't know how the rental revisions will go next year, or rather this year, right? Since it's 2025, quite a lot of the tenants are up for renewal, right? If this goes empty or the rental revisions are not positive, it could affect DPU, right? So this is a big question mark moving forward, right? Not going to worry about all these things. We'll go to business parks, more or less flattish. Okay, not going to talk about it, right? Logistics is the one that, yeah, actually business parks also slightly worrying about. You see, all their expiry, right, is roughly 2025, which is something I'm not very happy with management about. They should stagger it a little bit more, but okay lah. I mean, it's something that we just have to look at. Looking at the past rental revision for business park, this one I'm really not optimistic, right? Retail side I'm unsure, business park I'm not optimistic, right? Logistics park is a slight highlight, right? Because finally from 0, right, to 100%, right? They looking at what they said earlier. I think they managed to get someone in at 75% of the old cost, right? Which is, I think, fine lah. It's better than 0, right? Like I said, hopefully it will contribute to DPU next year, right? So that DPU will be slightly better, right? I don't think I'll talk too much more, alright? Generally the hope is China's GDP's growth will again flow into their spending, consumer spending, right? And also they're trying to give civil servants, I think, salary hikes, reduce loan rates. Yeah, they're trying to increase liquidity for the Chinese people to spend more money, right? Hopefully the retail side can carry moving forward, right? So I'm looking at this REIT more as a bellwether for other REITs, right? So that's how I'll be looking at this REIT. If you've enjoyed the presentation and you watched thus far, please do give me a like, right? It encourages me to keep producing such videos for you, right? Again, none of this investment advice, right? Thank you for listening.